Hi Year 11, so in this video I'm going to go through the practical application side of the Discovering Senses assignment. So this relates to Performance Standard 1 and 2 under practical application. So individually you're going to develop a supportive product related to a chosen impairment. This must be suitable for a school-aged child 5 to 8 years. Your practical application must demonstrate safe management practices, sufficient use of time, practical techniques, and maintain quality control. Initiative and creativity are encouraged. Durability of the toy must be considered. Okay, so there are a few points there that you need to make sure that you are reaching when making the toy. So an example of a suitable items could be a book. So it could be like in Braille for a person with vision impairment, or it might be about a child who has a speech impairment or who is deaf or who is blind. Okay, and that way when that child reads that book, all right, they might have a sense of belonging, okay, and feel a bit better about themselves. It might boost up their confidence. Some cards, okay, so it could be a matching game to help with sign language. It could be some cards that the child might use when they're talking to their teacher to help them get across what they're trying to say if their teacher's not very fluent in sign language. Okay, it might be for friends as well. It might be a comfort toy, so it might be like a toy of a little girl with red hair and she's got glasses on, and it's meant to simulate and look like the little girl with red hair who just got glasses because she's partially blind in one eye. Okay, so that might make them feel more comfortable with themselves, and it gives them that sense of, belonging, and that they're not the only one with this impairment. All right, you know how kids can be at school, and they can often bully and tease each other if people have glasses or if people have a stutter or something like that. Okay, so it's about making something that will help and support the child with the impairment. Now, as always, when you have made a product, you need to fill out the evidence sheet. Okay, so this is if the assignment gets submitted to SACE and SACE want to moderate it, then they can have a look at the evidence and make sure that you have met these performance standards. So remember, it is dot points only and there is no word count. You need to back your facts up with images. Okay, so taking steps throughout the production process is going to be really important. So you need to show and give evidence in dot points for how you were safe when constructing the item. Okay, I made sure that my hair was always tied back to ensure that it didn't get caught in the sewing machine, or to make sure it didn't get in the way when I was using scissors. I made sure that I always use the scissors safely and carefully, and I placed them down on the table afterwards, and they were closed together. I made sure when I was handing the scissors to the people that it was with the handles first and not with the blade. Things like that, all right? You need to give evidence for how you maintained a neat workspace, okay? This falls under safe management practices. And you need to give evidence for how the item you made is safe and suitable to the child's needs. Okay, so a button's not going to fall off and they're not going to eat it. All right. Now, I would prefer you to put these 3 dot points in headings over this side and then list your dot point evidence underneath that. Okay. Your practical application number 2, so the selection and use of appropriate technology. So you need to give evidence and justify why your toy is durable for a child to use. You need to give evidence and justify why you used appropriate materials, and that the technology or the techniques used supported your construction. All right, so you used Adobe Flash to make a video or something like that, or Photoshop to get pictures of, a beach to go with your story. Okay, so justifying that. Again, the 3 headings over this side and the dot point evidence underneath. Now, photo evidence. I'll definitely take some photos and upload them to Teams, okay? But take photos throughout your process, all right? You need to include enough photos that match and cover as evidence for all of these dot points here. So you're literally going to take one of the pictures and say, okay, yep, that relates to this dot point here where I spoke about safety, that relates to this one here and here. And you can literally copy and paste these 3 dot points and paste them under the image. And that way, the people that are moderating the assignment can see that, okay, this is a picture of this. And below here, I can see that this photo shows evidence for these standards and how they met those standards. Okay, it's all well and good to be safe and to use appropriate technology and do a good job in the practical application, but in SACE's terms, it's not really enough unless you can justify it and back it up and give evidence. Okay, so if you have any questions about that, make sure you let me know.